If you're familiar with my videos, you know I love high option cars that are eye-popping beautiful. I have one here today. It is a high option car and it certainly is eye-popping beautiful. I love the color. It's called Ivy Green, code R, Ivy Green. It's one of the metallic colors for 1966. You don't see it that often. And when you couple it with these wheels, torque thrust wheels, it gives a hint of that Bullitt look, and I love that. People go crazy for it, and they should. It's tough looking. Now, let's talk about the options. First, to do that, let's go look inside the car. Okay, so I mentioned options. I'm an option freak. I can't help it. Options make the car. I mean, they're what separates this car from other cars. And this car has a lot of options. Some came from the factory and some were added, but they're all period correct, meaning that this car could have looked this way in 1966. So what are the options? Well, we've got pony interior design elements in here. We've got a console, simulated wood wheel. We've got a rally pack gauge cluster, very cool. Air conditioning that blows very, very cold. And then we've got the really weird, strange, and very unusual option for most people, and that's the AM 8-track that it came with from the factory, stereo, meaning that it has speakers from the factory in the doors. Really unusual. You don't see that very often at all. Now, we don't have it hooked up. We've got instead a modern system hooked up that's hidden in the glove box so you can maintain your original look. It's iPod compatible, it's a CD player, and it's Bluetooth. And we run that through the original door speakers and some speakers in the rear. I love that. It's very cool. Okay, so I'm back on options again. All right, so we added the GT design element back here, which includes both the pipes and the rear panel. And of course, we had to paint it to match the car. And we added the GT lights up front, and we had to wire them in to work just like they did from the factory. So you say, what's the big deal? The big deal is that would cost you about $3,000 if you had that done. So options are expensive, but they add a lot to the eye pop of the car and to the value of the car. And we also added some enhancements. We added LED brake light tail light function, LED backup lights, and LED blinkers. Now I'm going to display how bright that is. Now we're in a lit up building, but trust me, in regular daylight or outside or at night especially, these things are extremely bright, much safer than the factory lights. All right, let me show you how bright they are. So there's the brake lights, and that is bright. Now let me do the backup lights for you. You will see where you're going at night, which you never could with the factory backup lights. Okay, so here we are under the hood, and you can see the engine has some of the performance dress-up elements of the day, the chrome open element air cleaner, the chrome valve covers. It has the aluminum intake manifold, Holley carburetor, stuff that this little 289 just loves. And notice the buck tag that I mentioned earlier, where it says stereo. I just think that's very cool. Let me start it, let's listen to this engine, and then let's go for that test drive. Come around and listen to this exhaust. That sounds really throaty. Let's go on that test drive. You know, if I had to explain what I like most about the 289, I'm not sure what it would be. It might be that they're so reliable, so easy to work on, so many parts available, and so many experts out there. Or it could be the fact that they're just fun little motors. I mean, you don't have to build them up very much for them to really run. In fact, just a little stock 289 is a happy little motor, and they'll go. You'll see that in just a minute. They're happy, fun running little motors. Give it just a little bit of gas here. Okay. Man. Wow. It goes. These little 289s, they just have effortless power. Of course, they were world famous race engines. Ford stabbed these things in some extremely competitive cars back in the day. And then Shelby did his own share of that as well. And then there street guys, private owners that took these little 289s and woke them up. But just your standard 289 with just a few little bolt-ons and you got a cool little hot rod. Go baby go, they run. Definitely happy little motors. Okay, so this is a little non-power steering car. Most of these Mustangs were non-power steering. They're easy enough to turn. They're not heavy cars. And a lot of people don't like the power steering because you lose some of the road feel. I'm a take it or leave it kind of guy. I like them both ways. Well, that's it for the test drive. I hope you enjoyed it. I always enjoy driving a vintage Mustang on a beautiful day here in Texas. And if you enjoyed it, click like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also go to our website, myrod.com. You'll find out that my son and I are treasure hunters. We find some of the best examples out there, and when time permits, we make interesting videos, which I think you'll find helpful or possibly entertaining. All right, well, thanks for coming along. Adios.